is Joy News Prime.
This is Joy News Prime here on Joy News on Multi TV. My name is Israel, and this bulletin is seen right around the world on the internet at myjoyonline.com, but also across Europe on ABN television. In this edition, hundreds displaced in ongoing demolition left to their fate several days after destruction to first structures began. But government says a temporary abode to accommodate them should be ready in 48 hours. Police deny investigating Black Stars captain Asamoah Gyan in latest twist to sex scandal involving 22-year-old university female student. Senior citizens in Ashanti region capital Kumasi staged protest over what they describe as worsening economic situation. Signing ceremony to herald commencement of negotiations for public sector health workers cancelled after protests by unions. They were not fully appraised about the content of the document. And farmers warn of a food crisis this year over the difficulties involved in accessing subsidized fertilizers. We also have business, sports and international news all coming up in the next 60 minutes. Do stay tuned. The majority caucus in Parliament has paid a courtesy call on the leadership of the Old Fadama slum here in Accra to empathize with victims of the ongoing demolition exercise by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. The exercise has seen the destruction of hundreds of structures the AMA says were partly responsible for the recent June 3 floods in Accra. Majority Leader in Parliament Alban Bagbin told journalists the visit was to assess the extent of damage to get government to respond swiftly to the concerns of the affected persons.
We saw on TV the destruction of places in which at least you had a cover over your heads. Yesterday, we met your leaders and we told them that we'll be here today to see for ourselves what has happened. And so we are here to see at first hand the level of destruction, the pain and suffering of the people, and the other collateral damages that have been done, so that together we see how to plan to at least alleviate your pain, your suffering, and then put in place a system that will prevent such occurrences. And so we will also be able to support the country. Let me assure all of you that we are with you and we do everything within the power that you have given us to ensure that justice is done. I will just plead with you to be patient, the tolerance, the maturity that you are showing, and allow us to tour the place so that we can properly report to Parliament to assist the government to respond appropriately to your urgent needs.
Now, the ongoing demolition exercise at the Old Fadama slum here in Accra is believed to have displaced over 2,000 people. A number of the affected persons have been forced to return to their hometowns, mainly in the north of the country. There are, however, a significant number still lingering, explaining they make a living in the slum, with others also saying they do not have the means to return to their villages. For such, Kwache Afre Nyama reports life is becoming increasingly unbearable by the day.
It's day 5 of the demolition exercise here by the AMA, and already thousands of residents of Old Fadama have been displaced. The debris from this demolition exercise, broken concrete, you can see some roofing sheets, and just behind me, scrap dealers who are making the best out of the situation, recovering some of the debris, mainly the metal objects. But some of the residents I've been speaking to say mostly that water, electricity, and a place to sleep has become a luxury. How are you living? How are you coping with all this?
Okay, we are just living like that. We don't know where we'll go and sleep right now.
Where do you sleep, for example, over the past 3 days?
Okay, the past 3 days, the day that they have removed everything, we are sleeping here. Because so far, I don't know where I'll go and sleep right now. So unless I make my pavilion like this, a small one like with my family, then we will just sleep here like that. Because of the mosquito, we'll put a fire like this and we'll make a fire here and they'll be sleeping inside like that. So if they break, we wake up and we're struggling again. We don't know where we go and pass again. We don't know where, because the market is full of people. So if we went to some place to get even the bed smarter, you can't get a chance. Something big like this, I have 2 wives and I have 5 children.
That 2 wives?
Yeah, 2 wives and I'm a Muslim. I have 2 wives, 5 children. Now the day they come scatter me, I don't know where I've gone.
We are sleeping here. If rain fall, we are day here. Anything do we day here. The day they come demolishing us, that day no rain fall, that day night. That day we have suffered too much here.
City authorities have said that there are plans to relocate you, give you money, send you back to your hometown and all that.
Our hometown, if they plan that, then they plan to find some job for North. North, nothing no day enough. The government self, you know that nothing no day enough. So if we try to do something for North, so that we ourselves will go, you know, him go give us money.
I said we are sleeping. If the weather is cool, we are feeling cold, so we need help. No, we don't have any place to go and stay. If I'm from village, me I can't go and do farm, so I need help. If I'm sitting here, I'm carrying something to go and sell it to get something to eat to help my father.
City authorities, however, maintain they will take further steps to ensure none of the residents here rebuild their structures. Kwache Afreniama for Joy News.
Now, the Old Fadama slum where the Accra Metropolitan Assembly is embarking on the demolition exercise is dominated by Muslims, as you heard from some of them, many of whom are observing the holy month of Ramadan, a very important season for the faithful. For such, the demolition exercise couldn't have come at a worse time. Aisha Haruna, who sells porridge in the settlement, shares a story of endurance in the face of hopelessness.
Omunyira adwani sese mba wo amu hanfa na enko yakuro mba nyomu ya hanfa ayesa ni mi ba nyina hanfa sese mba nyomu de fita nura mi ya hu ubetina ha ubabatima se wo fa school scabra 12 million 13 million aha no na ubanya sikari kwa manu no onko school ne sese omu apamu no
and this is here no finally then I obey then I open so yes is here
say no me say me ba person me ye kokono ma de omo ya chirwia no me ye wi me yes me obi ma me say ba kokuro ko stress ka na me ko me kuro
to be ye kokona ko fem se be wi chirwia no
me wa mi wa bet ba mi nyo bi so mba mi atukọ no mba ye ma chiri we fonu
na wada he
mi da ha anu anya ha na eda ye wo hoja anu ha na eda wo hoja anu ha na eda anu nsuo ni nyina ba yesu ha na eda ye nko bibia na eda.
All right, so Aisha Haruna is one of those people who have been affected as a result of the demolition exercise by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. She is into the sale of porridge, locally known as cocoa, and she tells a very sad story that indeed she has been affected. She also complains, just like the others, that she was not given prior notice by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. She will continue to live here because she tells me she doesn't even have money to go back to her hometown. But her cocoa business continues because the fasting is ongoing, and definitely there is the need to provide the meal for those doing the fasting. So until the fasting is completed, she will continue to put up here at night. Reporting for Joy News, Redwan Karim Dini Osman, Old Fadama, Accra.
So apparently there could be some good news coming the way of these displaced persons. Deputy Minister for Works and Housing, Samson Ahe, says government is putting up temporary shelters at a designated location near Amasamang to relocate evicted residents of Old Fadama who are willing to move from the area earmarked for demolition. Samson Ahe, in an exclusive interview with Joy News' Gladys Osei revealed the temporary shelters will be completed in 48 hours so the affected squatters can be relocated.
With regards to the demolition, which has resulted in displacement of a lot of Ghanaians, as a matter of urgency, what we are doing now is to provide temporary shelter for those displaced. I mean, I'm sure you saw yesterday that a lot of them want to go back, and the government is making provision to provide transportations to evacuate those who want to go back home. And so yesterday alone, more than seven buses left Accra for Tamale.
I see.
And this is being continuing today. Another group of people
so,
who don't want to go.
7 buses left, but you know, some had to sleep at the station because they could not get transportation.
Yeah, we are providing free transportation.
Okay.
And I think it's because we only started it yesterday, but okay. We are continuing today. So we hope to make sure that anybody who wants to go back will be provided with transportation.
Okay.
And another group of people who don't want to go, but want to, I mean, because of the dislocation, they don't have a place of abode.
Okay.
As I said, that there are plans in place to provide them with shelter at the, getting to Amasaman, we have a government land which we are going to develop within 48 hours to ensure that we will make these temporary measures available.
When is this starting? When is 48 hours counting? It's 48 hours starting to count from today, Wednesday, the 24th of June, 2015.
Yes.
So come Friday, the 26th of June,
yes,
there will be housing, there will be shelter for the displaced, temporal shelters for displaced persons.
Yes.
Of the Sodom and Gomorrah,
who want to relocate?
Okay, who would want to relocate from the Sodom and Gomorrah
to the place that government has acquired to provide these temporary shelters.
Sure.
Right, the Accra to Tamale GPR2 branch at Agbogloshi has started mobilizing funds to transport displaced residents of Old Fadama to their home regions. One of the executives at the transport terminal says the move has become necessary due to the harsh conditions the displaced persons are living in at the moment.
Almost 1 week now, the people here are stranded, and with the assistance of DKM Transport, in fact, we have been able to transport some of the passengers home. We still find it difficult to get buses. In fact, most of the people have lost almost everything. They couldn't, salvage their goods. The security men prevented them from, taking their goods. So they left almost everything there. So we have to provide them with transport as well as water and other facilities. For instance, on the first day, a woman was in labor. In fact, we find we were all in tears. She delivered in the open. So in fact, it's a very pathetic situation. So we are appealing to our brothers, especially the MPs. They should come to our aid.
Well, some of the travelers who spoke to the news team said they are yet to benefit from the free transportation package announced by Deputy Local Government Minister Neelante van der Poel on Tuesday.
We've had a meeting, a follow-up meeting. I, the Deputy Regional Minister, the Mayor, NADMO, and others. We've had a follow-up meeting to the meeting yesterday. We agreed on some things. One of the basic issues we agreed is that those who have willingly decided to go back, we're going to make transportation available to them. We're going to make some little support available to them so that they will go back. We've organized already. We're getting some buses that are available. We are asking the executive to get in there and get those people ready, and then they will get back. 2, for those who do not want to go back, but they be affected by the women and children, we are working out an arrangement together, the Mayor, the Regional Coordinating Council, NADMO, and we are working an arrangement for them. For now, we are resolving. We are trying to see, and then the third one has to do with the scope. we've agreed on the scope of work to be done now, because we agreed on 100 meters on both sides of the folly. Apparently, they are claiming the AMA has gone beyond the 100 meters.
So there was a promise by the Deputy Local Government Minister Lante Van der Poel. This was on Tuesday. But in the spirit of Ramadan, which is a Muslim month of fasting and prayers, the Discovery Group of companies has promised to shelter the displaced persons who are returning from Accra in its 3-star hotel. The offer was in response to an SOS call by the chief of Tamale, urging well-meaning people to help the returnees. The Discovery Group will, among others, feed, provide shelter, counseling and medical care for the returnees.
We, the people of Northern Region, this is the month of Ramadan, and we have to be giving and charitable. So under the directive of the chief of Tamale, Mohammed Alassane Dawouni Dekrama, he this morning said that, look, these people are going to arrive in Tamale. It's under his jurisdiction. What's he going to do? So we should look for people who can help in this situation. So we spoke to a lot of people and nobody really answered until the Discovery Group of Company, the chairman of the Discovery Group of Company, decided that, listen, he has got some resources that he can use to help these people under his sponsorship. He decided that we take Discovery Hotel, which is a 3-star hotel, that when the people arrive, those who do not have families in Tamale or those who do not have a place to go immediately can be resettled in Discovery Hotel in Gisonayele for the meantime. And he's going to provide feeding, medical care for the people who are arriving, because some of them are going to be traumatized. So as this thing, there needs to be medical care there, and there's going to be a bit of talking to them. We're going to counsel the people, and the chief of Tamale too have decided that there's a land in Young. So as a temporary stop base in Discovery, the people later on, the chairman of the group of companies of Discovery said he can provide materials for the building of small buildings on this land that can be used to settle these people as a temporary issue, and future victims in case there's ever the need for people to move into this place, because the rainy season is coming. Maybe it's just not going to be these Agbogbolos people, but if we build a place like that and there's more victims, we can have a place to be keeping them.
So if you're a displaced person and you get to Tamale, you know which hotel to get to. Elsewhere, hundreds of people today thronged Joy FM to claim relief items donated by various organizations and individuals. The crowd began forming shortly after the SIC Insurance Company made a large donation to support the multimedia relief campaign. The company brought in cash and relief items worth 29,000 cedis to support victims of the June 3 twin disasters.
The donation drew a crowd of people who converged at the premises of Joy FM at Kukumlimle to have their share of the relief items. Many of them said they got wind of the exercise from friends.
Because of the flood, that's why I'm here. And I've learned they have been sharing goods for the disasters, those who are the victims.
All my things got carried away, so I came here when I heard that Joy FM was distributing relief items.
Joy FM's programs director and coordinator of the relief campaign explains they were surprised at the numbers of people who responded to a message posted on social media asking residents of far-flung communities affected by the floods to call into the station.
We wanted to reach out to a lot more people today, so we put out on our social media platform, Facebook, that those living in Sotum, Kwashima, Nawoshi area and Malam who had not received any of the items could call our front desk and put down their names so that we would ensure that they also get some of the products. Just around that same period, SIC management had come to deliver some items to us, and surprisingly we saw some of the affected persons around the Joy FM building. So when we're done receiving the items from SIC, we decided that it will be good to give some of the items to them because they were here.
The items donated by SIC included cartons of Indomie, bags of rice and mattresses. Acting Managing Director of SIC Insurance Company, Kwei Mensa Ashidam, said although the loss of the victims could not be compensated for, he hoped the items would suffice.
We consider it our social responsibility to be on the side of those who are unfortunate, because that's what insurance is about. So with what has happened, we deem it necessary to come to support them. so that at least we can comfort them and for them to know that there are people who are behind them.
Kwame Ashidam admonished other companies to follow suit and help out the victims of the twin disaster whichever way they could. Lord Barima Osei Asare for Joy News.
We're taking a break, but we have more stories coming up thereafter. Don't go away. The signing of the framework for the conditions of service to spell out the details and terms of engagement for public health workers fell through this afternoon. This was after unions representing the public health sector workers refused to append their signatures because they say they were not adequately informed about the content. Join News' Matilda Omega has more.
The signing of the document, which spells out the terms and conditions of health service workers, would have been the framework for negotiations to begin. But the signing ceremony at the conference room of the Ministry of Health and attended by representatives from the Ghana Medical Association, Ghana Registered Nurses Association, Government and Hospital Pharmacists Association, and Health Service Workers Union had to be cancelled eventually. The GMA claim they have not had any meeting prior to the supposed signing or given details about the document.
Well, nothing has changed fundamentally. So as far as we are concerned, until our condition of service document has been negotiated, signed between the employer and the Ghana Medical Association on behalf of medical doctors and medical doctors only. When I say medical doctors, I mean physicians and dentists.
Exactly. The last time we checked, we know that the condition of service was presented. There was supposed to be a meeting, negotiation and all that. Have that taken place already?
Well, from where we sit, no negotiation has taken place between the ministry or the employer and Ghana Medical Association.
What has the ministry been telling you?
We are still waiting, that's all.
The ministry says it will reconvene another meeting to address all the outstanding issues.
Based on the fact that they want to go and further study the document. So tomorrow, the minister has given them tomorrow, everybody, all the unions to look at the various documents, and then maybe Wednesday, Friday, I should say, we would just come and just sign the document. So as you are aware, we are ready, but there are issues relating to finalizing that document, so we are unable to sign.
The Coalition of Concerned Teachers Ghana is asking the Ministry of Finance to reverse his directive to the Controller and Accountant General's Department to suspend salaries of teachers who do not have social security numbers on their files. The group argues the directive is particularly unfair because the affected teachers have complied with an earlier directive to forward their SNIT numbers to the Public Payroll Administrator. It says it will head to the court to seek redress if government refuses to back down. APO's correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from Wa.
The Ministry of Finance, in a statement issued and signed by its Chief Director, Major Retired M.S. Tara, on June 12, 2015, directed the Controller and Accountant General Department to with immediate effect suspend salaries of about 27,805 public sector workers, including 16,644 workers of the Ghana Education Service who do not have their social security numbers on the 2015 payroll. The directive is currently in force, and several workers in the country who failed to submit their social security numbers will not have their salaries for June 2015. At a press conference in Wa, the Upper West chairman of the Coalition of Concerned Teachers argued that it has submitted to the various GES district offices the SNIT numbers of its members, and follow-ups revealed that the information was forwarded to the Controller and Accountant General Department, and no action has been taken yet.
As we speak now, there are still 2,690 workers not yet restored. Some of these workers have their accounts audited and forwarded to the Controller and Accountant General, yet it has not been imputed and they are still in active service.
They also called on the Minister of Finance to, as a matter of urgency, reverse the directive to the Controller and Accountant General, else they will head to court to seek redress.
We would like to state emphatically that if the Minister fails to reverse these directives and teachers suffers this action, we will hold the Minister accountable, and we are not I repeat, and we are not ruling out legal actions. Finally, we are appealing to all stakeholders to call on the Minister of Finance to reverse this killer directive.
Prime Minister Dr. Kwabena Donkor has assured Parliament of a universal electrification of the country by the year 2020, even though he admitted there will be some reservations in some instances. He also said the provision of electricity should not be politicized to ensure economic growth across the country.
History says that by the year 2020, the national objective, the objective of the state of Ghana, is to have universal access to electricity. And Mr. Speaker, for the purpose of clarity, universal access is defined as 90% or more, not necessarily 100%, because there are some communities that cannot be connected to the national grid for reasons of geography, topography, and other reasons. Mr. Speaker, we are also aware that extension of electricity to communities is not just a political imperative, but it is an economic imperative. The extension of electricity to communities enhance the establishment of micro enterprises in these communities. And if this country desires to slow down the rural-urban migration, then it is imperative that we establish conditions that would favor the people from rural areas, such as where some of us come from, being able to undertake various aspects of micro entrepreneurship and stay in their communities. So we are aware of the importance of extending electricity to rural communities. In any case, it also provides for national cohesion, and the ministry is very aware of this. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Staying with Parliament, popular reggae musician and radio presenter is due to appear before Parliament Privileges Committee on Thursday over his comments that the majority of MPs use marijuana. The MP who raised the matter in Parliament says the comments marks of disrespect for the August House. So what does Abubakar Ahmed, popularly referred to as Black Rasta, to expect tomorrow? Deputy Ranking Member on the committee has been speaking to Joy News.
Bring in his councillor, and then the questions will be put to him pertaining to what really he said, and then some of those things he have to tell us exactly what he meant about 80% of the parliamentary smoke weed.
So for in case of Abubakar Ahmed, also known as Black Rasta, the allegation against he's alleged that 80% of members of parliament smoke marijuana or weed. What materials do you have to support this claim?
At the moment, we have recently audioed. We also have the print media. Those are two things that we have. I think that's the most. And then we have some witnesses that will also we invite them to come and give us a testimony on that. And the person who also raised the question on the floor also will come. So we have those people who will come and answer some few questions for us.
So the audio you have listened to, what does it contain?
It's contained, as you said, 80%. That's the key. Really, that's the key. It's 80% of parliamentary smoke weed. So we want to be certain on that. And then he has to assure us, where if he has the names, he could provide the names for us. And at least we know who smokes weed here.
In the audio that you listened, did he use the word smoke or use?
He said smoke. And he said, used. If you say used, you see, we are mixing words. Used, smoke. What is the difference, really? If you use something, it's like you're inhaling it. And if you smoke something, it's like you are doing the same inhalation. So if you say you used, you smoke, yeah, really the term does not really change how it was put. I don't think it's really the nice way to say it.
What about Professor Jojo?
His case, okay, after tomorrow probably we will affirm the date for next week, probably.
Has he been served? Are you aware of this?
Really, the letter was written, but I don't think it has been served yet. But I think tomorrow, after closing, we will be able to affirm the date when he will be going to the premise committees.
Right, so we have two more top stories coming up. One having to do with the Samwajang and another one having to do with senior citizens demonstrating in Kumasi. But up next, we're in the business news.
Business News is brought to you.
Segment. My name is Eton Amse. Now, the Ministry of Finance has debunked media reports on government of Ghana having concluded a contract with Banks Rich Ghana Limited. In a release signed by Deputy Finance Minister Kasil Atuforsin, the ministry insists the information is not true. It says after the Permanent Court of Arbitration's ruling against government of Ghana, which awarded a cost of 197.4 million cedis plus a legal cost of 4.5 million cedis US dollars against government engaged Banks Rich Ghana Limited to seek ways which will be beneficial to government. To pay the judgment debt, the government team made up of officials from the Attorney General's Department, the Ministry of Finance and the Ghana Revenue Authority has been holding meetings to negotiate the settlement. The committee has come out with proposals which are yet to be approved by Cabinet. The statement meanwhile says government will take a decision which will be beneficial to the country while respecting the rule of law. Now to other stories. The Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, is asking government to put in place structures that will protect Ghanaian businesses against counterfeits. The AGI is worried businesses are losing revenues to counterfeiting, a situation they believe is also affecting the country's revenue mobilization.
The AGI joined the rest of the world to celebrate World Anti-Counterfeiting Day by creating awareness of the phenomenon in Ghana. The association says $1.7 trillion is lost annually to counterfeits globally, and Ghana is no exception. Reason counterfeiting should be kicked out of the system.
We have a lot of fledgling or fragile industries here. We need to be able to build their capacities. How can we build their capacity? Create the market. But where we have products coming in at a relatively cheaper prices, of course, with very low quality, now such companies are being undermined. Of course, let us understand that we have porous borders. We have over-liberalized economy. So some of these products can get in here. But as they come in here, they come and kill, so to speak, industries that are really producing similar products.
The Immigration Service, as a stakeholder in fighting the menace, indicates it is doing its best currently in ensuring all documents they receive on goods are quality, but maintains there are some limitations.
Some of the problems cannot be detected by the naked eye. You need an equipment to go deep into it to do the proper analysis of whatever fraud is being perpetrated. Yeah, so on that note, you need those devices because the fraudsters have also now gone into technology.
The AGI meanwhile says it will join the world to celebrate the Anti-Counterfeiting Day, which falls on June 24 every year, as a way of fighting the canker in Ghana.
And farmers are warning Ghana could be hit with a food crisis in the coming months due to the difficulty they are having to go through to access subsidized fertilizer. The farmers would typically rely on cheaper fertilizers under government's fertilizer subsidy program, but this, they say, has not been forthcoming. Buying off the open market at regular prices, however, means lower increase and reduced yields, with implication for the country's overall food stock.
National Farmers and Fishers Award Winners Association of Ghana at a news conference in Accra expressed their frustrations over the delayed payment of subsidies on fertilizers under government's fertilizer subsidy program. The delay has shot up market prices, with a 50-kilogram bag going for more than 100 cedis. Chairman of the association, Davis Koboy, tells Joy Business most farmers are having to cultivate without fertilizers because it is well beyond their means.
The subsidy is meant to target the smaller holder farmers and the women. And apparently, I don't think they have the money to go to the open market to buy fertilizer between 120 and 130 Ghana cedis per bag. What is going to happen, in effect, is that if they even do that, then they are not going to apply the required fertilizer as requested. So we still think that government should be able to do something.
Are you likely to see any food shortage should this continue?
Of course, because with even the weather, you know, the climate change is seriously affecting us. If you look at the rainfall pattern this season, it's so bad. And we felt that if we had even applied fertilizer, that could have even boosted the yield. But having done that. And also looking at the north, we think that the south, the large farmers, they have been able to do their part. But we should be able to, the onus lies on government to be able to deal with the northern belt to enable us have better yield.
The farmers want government to expedite action on reviving the subsidy program, which will make them pay about 80 cedis for the 50-kilogram bag instead of the over 100 cedis it is currently priced.
Our plea is to make sure the subsidy programs work. Once it works, that's why I said that most of the things, this thing can be termed as public goods, where government facilitates fertilizer application in the country. In any case, agric in Ghana is private-led, being facilitated by government. So that is why we are saying that we have done our part. Of course, if a fertilizer is being sold for 1 or something and we are paying 80 something, and government is paying the 21%, I think we've done quite a good job. So we are just appealing to government to also try as much as they can to sort the subsidy out.
The association has also called on one of the main suppliers under the subsidy program, Yara, to return to the scheme and support farmers while they continue to dialogue with government to settle their issues.
Executive Director for the Center for Economic Policy Analysis, CEPA, Dr. Joe Abe, has reiterated the need for government to strengthen the manufacturing industry to save the free fall of the cedi. Dr. Joe Abe laments if the energy situation is not resolved and companies are unable to produce to meet local demand, interest rates will continue to rise and inflation rates cannot be controlled.
If you don't heal the wounds on the supply side, the things that are making the availability of goods and services on which to spend our income, if you do not cure that, and the quantity of goods available threaten to go on dwindling, we have a manufacturing sector that is contracting, a manufacturing sector that will cause negative growth. And that is the source of a lot of goods that are produced in the system. So if you are not going to tackle the problems that will make your manufacturing sector stop shrinking and rather expand, the availability of goods in the system will keep on shrinking. And if you don't have the foreign exchange to import, to augment, then the quest for the foreign exchange will lead to a fall in the value of the cedi, which will feed back into inflation.
That's how we wrap up with business. My name is Eton Amse. Many thanks for your time. Israelite has more.
Now, Black Stars captain Asamoah is used to being the talk of town, except he has dominated headlines today for the wrong reasons. A 22-year-old university student, Sarah Kwabla, is accusing the footballer of denying responsibility for a pregnancy which was born out of an affair between the two of them. The lady also brought up sodomy charges in a complaint said to have been lodged with the police and asked Asamoah to get her a furnished apartment, a housemaid, and a monthly stipend of $1,000 for postnatal care. Lawyer for Sarah Kwabla, Maurice Ampa, has been speaking about the case.
Asamoah met this lady not for long, and then they entered into a short relationship. Asamoah then find out where the lady is staying, and then he went to this place with the manager, and then they had sex.
Asamoah has sex with the lady?
Yeah, after they had sex, eventually he started to take responsibility, and then asked his manager and the lawyer to contact the girl to establish whether the girl is really pregnant. They went to prove it was true that the girl was pregnant. Then they started doubting whether they are responsible or not. So the issue of whether there should be a maintenance until after delivery of the girl, then there will be paternity test.
Why are they in doubt that Asamoah is responsible for the pregnancy?
That's my worry. You know, these technicalities. So I was like, what is happening in the system? Unfortunately for Asamoah, I think the girl had CCTV cameras in the place. So the video act was being recorded. You get me right? And Asamoah was aware. So the girl sent the video cameras and look, you are denying responsibility, but you know, this is what you had did with me. And you had my back, and I was complaining. You forced me. I didn't like it. So this is the video evidence of your criminal act. So then, as Asamoah became uncomfortable, they rejected it, and they started threatening the girl. She can go to hell. They don't care, and all that kind of stuff. And the girl parents felt insulted, and they were so mad. So they pushed the girl, only for the girl to show the part of the video to them where there was a sodomy on their daughter, and she was complaining, bleeding, and said, what? So you have all this information and you didn't bring it out. And I guess I thought I was pregnant with a man, and if I go out to expose it will affect the baby.
Now, Samuel Jan's lawyer, Kisei Jabing, has told local radio station Kasapa FM his client confirmed an affair. He ever downplayed the issue.
The lady says she's pregnant for my client, so I found out from him as to whether or not he has met the lady before. He replied in the affirmative. He says he knows the lady, but it's been a while since he last saw her. So I asked Asamoah to provide all she needs till she delivers, but the demands of the lady were becoming too much.
But in a new twist, the Odoko police have expressed surprise at reports that Sarah Kwabla has filed a report of sodomy against the Black Stars captain. The police said no one has filed any reports of rape or sodomy against the footballer. To the contrary, they say the police rather received a report of blackmail filed on behalf of Samuel Jan by his lawyer, Kisei Jabing. I'm sure there'll be more in this story in the coming days. But up next, we bring you sports with George Addo Jr.
Sports, and we'll start with the MTN FA Cup. And cup holders Asante Kotoko reached the semi-final of the tournament with a comprehensive 2-0 win over 10-man Ashanti Gold this evening. The Porcupine Warriors needed goals from two unlikely sources: midfielders, Jackson Owusu and right back Atakusi at the Bavaria Stadium. Elsewhere, Giano Stars progressed to the semi-finals with a shaky 3-2 win over second-tier side 11 Wise at Njaba, and Midyamra SC came back from a goal down to win 3-1 over Wafa. Asante Kotoko will face Giano Stars in the semi-finals, while Hearts will take on Midyamra SC. All those games will be coming up. And at least it alleviates a lot of pressure off the shoulders of Coach David Duncan, who was in some real issues because the team wasn't winning over there. Now let's talk some more. We're talking about Apia's testimony on Black Stars captain Asamoah Jan has thrown his support for ex-captain Stephen Apia, who will call time on his career this weekend with his much-anticipated testimonial game at the Accra Stadium. Captain Asamoah was in the company of other stars, including Dede Ayew, guesting a handful like Kinston and John Mensah, to formally join the campaign to raise awareness for Tornado's final football match. Asamoah Jan, in extolling the qualities of Apia, judged his pass to aid him score Ghana's first World Cup goal in Germany as his fondest of the ex-Fenerbahce and Juventus star.
We are here to support our great captain, our great leader. When I talk about a great leader, I'm talking about Stephen Apia. He has served the nation for quite a long time, and this is the time we need to, we have to honor his services to the nation, so we are here to just support him in everything that he does. This is a great event coming up, and we are here to support him. So personally, and on behalf of the team here right now, we are inviting everybody to the Accra Sports Stadium, to witness a great event. This event is once in a lifetime. He's done a lot for the nation, and this is the time we need to show appreciation and everything to him, being a long-serving player to the country and one of the legends Ghana has ever produced. So me being here, we are here to give our moral support to our great captain, who is retiring right now. One day we're all gonna retire, but we just have to wish him luck, for everything that he does. So we are here to just support him. Thank you.
All right, and as you imagine, Asamoah Jan was in no mood to grant any comment or any interview on the sex scandal, so just a little bit of disappointment there. But let's talk about some bit in the world of football. And on the calendar, it's the month of fasting, known as Ramadan, which requires Muslims to stay away from food and water from dawn to sunset. The decision by some Muslim sportsmen to observe the fast and compete has often generated controversy, especially in Europe. Now, the worry is that players who fast do not operate at optimum levels. Papi Cisse of English Premier League side Newcastle has been explaining how difficult it is to play under these. Okay.
It's
everything that
so
happens,
just
you know, maybe the Ramadan and everything, the fasting, how the players are dealing with it. Of course, Ghanaian players are also.
All right, good. But I just want to talk to you about your interview with Samojan. You actually met him today.
Yeah, today.
You had an opportunity. I'm wondering, did the issue about this sex scandal come up at all?
I mean, I think he's learned very well from what's happened in the past, especially what happened with you know, graphic journalist Daniel Kenu. So before the interview session, they said, I mean, guys, nobody should go over. You're going to ask Samojan only questions about Stephen Appiah's testimonial. But of course, you know, in informal speaking, I spoke with Enim Ado, who is the CEO of Baby Jet Promotions, and then Samojan himself. And it's just going along the lines. What they're saying is that it looks like a little blackmail, and they're trying
Not a little blackmail.
I mean, so a little. I mean, that's the way you put it. It's informal, isn't it?
Oh, okay. A little blackmail. Okay.
You know, blackmail. So they don't agree with what the lady said. And actually, they were saying that yes, the report from the police station, you know, corroborates what they are saying, and they are trying to say that yes, something happened, but it's not as bad as the lady was. I mean, want us to believe, or make it, you know, sound. So
that story is not going to go away.
No, it's not going to go away, and especially for Samojan, there have been loads of issues. I mean, just a year ago, it was, you know, Castro who's still missing. And not only that, we know what happened with Daniel Kenu and all of that, and so anyway, we'll see where it goes.
Thank you very much, George.
That's just sports. He's going to join us with some more. Look at that.
All right. There was an unusual demonstration in Ashanti region capital, Kumasi, this morning. It was particularly unusual because unlike the typical demonstration which will involve the youth and vibrant in society, this was embarked on by senior citizens. Though the number was relatively small compared to other protests, the old women and men accompanied by a brass band walked through some principal streets decrying what they described as a worsening economic situation. Joint News' Mahmoud Mario Nuruddin has the story.
Faced with the breakdown of their businesses, some Ghanaians have devised creative ways to endure economic hardship in the country. Both public and private sector workers are complaining of hardship in the country.
We sell fish, but these days we can't afford the fish to even sell to make profit.
The latest group to join is made up of old women and men, mainly retirees. They say they are in economic dilemma because their breadwinners have challenges in meeting their needs. Their demonstration is to get government to act to end the energy crisis, among other issues.
The president must give the aged some attention. He is suffering. No one taxed us to do this. We are doing it because we are hungry.
Until situations turn around in the country, Ghanaians will continue to ask questions about the state of the economy.
And that's how we wrap up the bulletin. My name is Uzolai. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good evening.
This is Joy News Prime.